Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Fat Katz Podcast, episode 47. I'm Ward Sewell, joined by co-host Cam Taylor. And Cam, as you know, today, 3/19, Tuesday, March 19th, starts off the hardest tournament to win in all of sports, Cam. So happy official March Madness to you, my friend. How you doing, Cam?
Yeah. Happy March Madness to you, man. My favorite holiday of the year, possibly.
Yep.
March Madness. This is, like Ward said, the hardest tournament in sports to win. This is when you get all the crazy upsets, all the Cinderella stories. And at the end, it all comes down to one shining moment. There can only be one winner at the end of the season, Ward. And we're going to talk a lot about it today. Who got in, who got left out. But before we get into it, Ward, I do want to take a personal shout out to wish a happy birthday to my Aunt Lisa. She's been a listener since day one, gives us feedback all the time. Happy birthday, Aunt Lisa.
Aunt Lisa, happy birthday. And is Aunt Lisa in West Virginia or Kentucky?
She's in Virginia. This is my mom's sister.
Virginia, okay. Well, Aunt Lisa, happy birthday. And I'm not sure who you were pulling for. If you are related to any of the Taylors, I would assume you're probably pulling for Big Blue Nation, Kentucky, on Thursday. She a Kentucky fan, Cam?
Well, her husband is a Virginia Tech fan. So
okay.
So I don't think we're getting any Big Blue love from the Hicks, but she super huge birthday shout out. They went to the Greenbrier last weekend for
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Didn't catch the invite, by the way. If anybody was wondering, it was a girls' weekend.
Yeah.
But anyways, man, March Madness right here. We've been waiting for it all year, Ward. But before we get into it, I want to remind everybody, find us on Spotify, find us on YouTube, find us on Apple Podcasts. Just type in the Fat Katz Podcast. That's KATZ. Find us on Instagram and TikTok at Fat Katz Pod. Ward, any cool stories from the weekend? I know we tore up Raleigh after the ACC championship. You got any fun stories you want to tell?
Dude, all I want to say is you mentioned Aunt Lisa being a Virginia Tech fan, Cam. And Virginia Tech actually had a record broken this weekend in 2022, I believe it was. Yeah, 2022. Virginia Tech broke the record of the highest ACC seed to ever win an ACC championship as an 8 seed, Cam. This weekend, Saturday night, the NC State Wolfpack marched into Washington, D.C. They won 5 games in 5 consecutive days. Cam, they have won more games in that arena than the Washington Wizards have won this year. And we came. We didn't only beat Louisville. We didn't only beat Syracuse. We didn't only beat Duke. We didn't only beat Virginia. But hold up, Cam. I got to do my Stephen A. Smith impression for this one. See, everybody see the sweatshirt? Go ahead and put the hood on. Stephen A. Smith impression. Where you at, Carolina Tar Heels? Y'all are big brothers, right? Y'all are big brothers, right? Hey, they can't beat us in football, but they beat us in basketball, right? They only beat us when it doesn't matter, Cam. Hey, it's hard to beat a team 3 times, Cam, as we all know. Your NC State Wolfpack are the 2024 ACC champions for the first time since 1987. Cam, me and you weren't even thought of in 1987. So we're doing something. The Wolfpack are back, and that's the end of my spiel, Cam. Thank you for listening, and congratulations to the NC State Wolfpack.
Yeah, man, congrats. We not only saw you guys win the ACC championship, DJ Burns has become like a national story. He's become America's sweetheart, which I love. I watched the game with my sister, who is a Carolina grad, and pure comedy, by the way. But what these Carolina fans especially don't understand is like people our age that are State fans have never seen this in their life. So, no, I mean, every reason to party down in Raleighwood. But like I said, DJ Burns, a real huge story coming out of the weekend. Also something that kind of got swept under the rug, Ward. We talked about Kevin Keatts like he was a dead man walking for months.
Kevin Keatts just got a lifetime contract in Raleigh, my friend.
Well, he had in his contract, he has a thing that if he ever won the ACC championship, he automatically got a 2-year extension. So Kevin Keatts automatically gets a 2-year extension no matter what. But yeah, man, shout out to the Pack. We're super excited. Super excited for a possible round of 32 matchup here. We'll get into it later.
We'll get into it a little bit, man. We'll
But
get into it a
Ward,
little bit. But Cam, kind of what you were saying, you want to talk about my experience in Raleigh for the Wolfpack game. So I went to a bar. Any of our Raleigh listeners knows about Glenwood Avenue. Went out for happy birthday, Perry King, by the way. Went out for one of our WCU Highlands Hooligans honorable members, Perry's birthday, and went out, watched the big game. And I went to a bar, and it was St. Patty's Day. I didn't care about wearing green. I had my Wolfpack stuff on. And we went to this bar, Cam, and I haven't seen this since me and you did this at a Western Carolina tailgate. The clock hit 0-0. Everybody's screaming. There's probably 100 people in this bar. Never seen anything like it. 90 out of 100 people were beer showering. People were going. I mean, there were so many state people in this bar, man. It was insane. There was a few Carolina people, but even the Carolina people were happy for the state. I mean, I will say, state fans, we are a-holes at times, and we are very confident and very cocky about our football team, or not just our football team, our sports program. And we had every right to be that night. The bartenders were screaming. The bartenders, because obviously we didn't have to clean it up, so the bartenders were screaming at everybody that was beer showering. Nobody cared. Dude, the Wolfpack had just won for the first time since 1987, so people were excited.
awesome weekend, man. I couldn't be more excited for you. Like, I was hoping and praying that the state pulled that game off. I bet state throughout the tournament. I know nobody probably made more money off state than Stone and Connor James's father. But yeah, super excited for the Pack. And Ward, as we get into it, we start off every show.
Hey, real quick, Cam, let's talk about this round of 32 real quick.
You want to go ahead and get into it? Let's go ahead and get into it, man. So, if you don't know, Kentucky in the South region as the 3 seed. NC State in the South region as the 11 seed, correct, Ward?
The 11 seed, yep.
Playing Oregon.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Kentucky is playing Oakland. So Kentucky wins against Oakland, hopefully. State pulls off a nice little upset against Tech. And who faces off in Pittsburgh in the round of 32? Only Kentucky and State. So that could be the Fat Katz Bowl award. We're working.
Fat Katz Bowl. I love it.
If that happens, the boys might be live from Pittsburgh this weekend, so we'll see.
The boys will be live in Pittsburgh, Cam, and we're not going to have terrible towels in our hands. We're going to be it's going to be a sea of blue and red. And Cam, I hate to say, in the last week we have beaten 2 blue bloods, so not getting cocky yet, but I think Rob Dillingham is gonna regret his decision to leave us Wolfpack.
Hey, we got to get through Oakland and Tech first before we start trash talking.
No, I'm just kidding, man. All trash talk aside, Cam, I would love to go to that game with you. I would not talk any trash because SEC is very good in basketball. The SEC had a better year than the ACC did in basketball, and Kentucky's a good basketball team. We cannot consistently score points like Kentucky does. So I'm not saying anything.
That would be electric, though, if we could make that happen.
Just imagine, hey, y'all beat us last time we played football, so now you got to give us one.
Yeah, I mean, and if Ticketmaster or whoever wants to provide the Fat Katz with tickets,
what's the chance we get media passes to that one?
Dude, I applied for media passes through the NCAA for a Division II tournament for Wingate, and they told me to kick rocks.
Really?
So I don't think it's going to happen.
What context did you use?
I said, hey, I'm doing a podcast. We've been covering Wingate all season. We just went to the SAC tournament, got press credentials, was wondering if I could get them here. And they basically said that we're not a recognized media source.
So they emailed you back?
Yeah, they emailed me back and said that we weren't recognized enough to get media passes. And I was like, how many people realistically are asking for media passes to North Georgia University for Division II basketball tournament?
Yeah, I will say if NC State wins at 9, because y'all are going to beat Oakland. If NC State wins at 9:40 on Thursday night, Friday morning, I'm getting on I can't say it on here, but we have an internal sales website where I can get anybody's phone number in this country. I am cold calling every single person from the NCAA saying, this is Ward from the Fat Katz Podcast. We're needing media credentials. We've been covering the Wolfpack and the Kentucky Wildcats all year. We'll make it happen, Cam. Just say that.
if anybody can talk us into media credentials, it's Wurzel. So I hope it happens, man. I mean, I've watched Kentucky lose to St. Peter, so I'm not just chalking up Oakland as a win right now. But there's no team hotter in the country than NC State, in
Yeah,
my
well,
opinion.
I'm worried that, and I'm not worried about it, but I think the NC State Wolfpack might have just won their Super Bowl on Saturday night, Cam. I think the boys are probably still partying right now.
There's definitely a concern that the magic has run out. But we'll see. You only got 6 more games to win,
We only got
Ward.
6 more games.
But as we get into the show, man, I cannot wait for the possibility of State and Kentucky. By
Oh,
the way,
and
but we like to start off every show, or at some point in the show, do a segment called First Favorite and Forgotten. If you're new, the episode number goes with the jersey number. So with today being episode 47, it'll be the first player that wore 47 that came to your mind, your favorite player to wear 47, and somebody who's forgotten or doesn't get enough respect who wore 47. Ward, I teed you up. Go ahead and rip it, big dog. Who's your
perfect,
first?
man. Thanks for throwing the assist. I'll go ahead and slam dunk it. Cam, first 47. I've watched this guy the last 2 years, backup linebacker for the Washington Commanders, and he has pissed me off a couple times. Not going to lie to you. Khaleke Hudson, Cam, 47, first one that came to mind.
There you go. Do we like Hudson or do we like Jamin Davis better in Washington, D.C. right now?
Jamin Davis.
Jamin got off to a rough start. I don't know what the fan base
We
is
got Bobby
feeling.
Wagner coming in now, so that's going to be a good big brother for Jamin Davis.
There you go. My first, and shout out to Wheezy for giving me the assist on this one. Andre Kirilenko played for the Jazz, one of the best wings of the 2000s, AK-47. The first, or not the first, but pure 3-and-D wing, Andre Kirilenko. If you haven't watched him, he played with Deron Williams and Carlos Boozer in the Utah Jazz days. Fun highlight tape to go check out.
I actually I was doing some research before and he popped up and I said, I already know Cam has this guy written down. So Cam, I love it. Great choice. He's actually one of the most sold. His jersey is still one of the highest sold Utah Jazz jerseys, which is pretty cool. So Cam, getting into my favorite, I'm sure you know Chris Cooley is, former Redskins tight end legend, 2-time Pro Bowler with us, and the last great tight end we've had in Washington, Cam. So Chris Cooley, favorite, number 47.
Yeah, Chris Cooley was awesome back in the day. Mel Blount is my favorite. Steelers legend, Hall of Fame defensive back. This was a pretty easy favorite for me, believe it or not.
Yeah. Like it, Cam. Jake Ryan. Jake Ryan bounced around multiple teams, but he was one of my linebackers that I used to follow growing up. So Jake Ryan, forgotten, number 47.
There you go. And my forgotten is going to be Kiko Alonso. He won defensive rookie of the year.
Kiko Alonso.
Yeah, out of linebacker out of Oregon, won defensive rookie of the year in Buffalo. His sophomore year got traded from Buffalo to Philly for Shady McCoy when Chip Kelly got the head coaching job and GM job in Philly. Still goes down as one of the most lopsided trades in NFL history. But yeah, Kiko Alonso. Hopefully, like I did with Ward, pulled up a forgotten person that you hadn't thought about recently. That was a wild time to be alive.
That was a really good one, dude. Kiko Alonso, really good one.
And then as we get into it, Ward, we got weekly game balls going out. I will let you go first, man. What's up?
Perfect. I know I'm making a little edit, Cam. I talked a lot about NC State earlier, so I'm not going to talk too much about them. I want to give a quick game ball to DJ Burns. You know, DJ Burns plays a style of big boy basketball that we don't see anymore, Cam. Our parents saw it. We don't see it. Obviously, watching him in the ACC finals as a whole, he had 20 against Carolina, against Armando Baycott, however you say his name. But the reason I'm giving him my game ball, Cam, is DJ Burns will never have to pay for another meal in the city of Raleigh.
There's going to be a lot of restaurants that are hurting on that.
And that's a big boy, too. He's listed at 275. If he weighs 275, Cam, then me and you have a bigger pod. We have the number one podcast over Joe Rogan right now. If that man weighs 275.
Well, I've said, and I love DJ Burns. Me and him, funny enough, play a lot alike. He's just 7 inches taller than I am.
You're a spot up shooter. He plays in the paint. You're not a paint guy.
Oh, you're crazy.
But
anyway, we've been on we got on this way before any national media did. Him being listed at 275 is comic.
Yeah.
Like he is closer to 450 pounds than he is to 275.
He's also he's
Promise you that.
6'9" too. If you're 6'9" and you weigh 275, you're a stick. I mean, at the
He's
end of
6'9" and he's built like me, Ward.
the
But anyways, DJ Burns gets all the love, man. And
day.
like you said, if he doesn't have to pay for meals, man, Raleigh restaurant market might go in the tank.
Don't come to my
Um,
stepdad's restaurant, man.
But I've got 2 game balls to hand out. The first one is going to Dan Monson, who was the head coach at Long Beach State. Ward, before their conference tournament, he was told by the athletic director that he would not have a job at the end of the season. He got fired before the conference tournament. They go on a run, win their conference tournament, are now in the big dance. If Dan Monson sounds familiar to you, he was the coach at Gonzaga in the 90s. He kind of started what Gonzaga is today. But yeah, I just thought that was crazy. You get fired before the conference tournament, go on a run, win it, and now like that AD has a decision to make. Does he fire the coach who made the NCAA tournament, or does he backtrack on his word, Ward?
I like it. I like it, Cam. I like it.
And then I've got one more game ball. It's Will Wade, the head coach, formerly at LSU. Now he's at McNeese State. Novak sent me a text this morning, and I just want to read it. Something I noticed, this is from Novak again. A&M Corpus Christi has owned the Southland Conference over the last 3 years. They've won the conference tournament and the regular season all 3 years and have been a 16 all 3 times. And in the first 4 twice of those 3 times. Will Wade at McNeese State wins it 1 year, and now they're a top 12 seed without a play-in. I just thought that was hilarious that A&M Corpus Christi, 3 years has dominated that conference, had to play in to get in the tournament, and then they give McNeese State a 12 seed with Will Wade.
Yeah.
Will Wade has done a terrific job.
He has done a terrific job, Cam. And there's a couple, a couple teams that didn't get into, and we're going to get into this, but a couple teams that did get in, a couple teams that didn't get in that I'm very curious to hear about. But no, Will Wade has done an amazing job.
Just real quick, we'll go over the numbers, and then we're going to get into some fun college hoop stuff. SEC and Big 12 each get 8 teams in, Ward. The Mountain West and Big 10 each got 6 teams in. ACC gets 5 teams in. And the Big East, the best conference in ball, only gets 3 teams in the tournament. That's been a big rise today.
Yeah.
A lot of people have had a problem with that, which I get.
It's crazy to me, Cam, really quick, before we move into anything. It is crazy to me the jump that the SEC has made in basketball since we have graduated high school. And you look at the elite teams in the Ole Miss, Auburn, Kentucky, Alabama, Florida. Who am I missing? Tennessee, boom. A&M got in. Like, you guys are a superior basketball conference. I mean, not just football. You guys are a superior basketball conference as well. And, it is crazy how far the ACC has dropped off. Because you remember growing up, dude, ACC was the basketball conference in the NCAA. And now, we're mid-tier. And it's crazy. Big 12 has been good, but SEC, man, good hats off to y'all, Cam.
Well, the SEC, I think after John Calipari won the championship in 2012, figured out that you have to make an investment in basketball to survive. Yeah. Got a lot of if you look at the coaches in the SEC, besides the Big East, I don't think there's a better league of coaches, and that brings better ball players. This league it's the most physical league in basketball, and I say, they say that, it's just people beating the crap out of each other, but it is the most physical league in basketball. With probably the best athletes. So SEC, super fun to watch, and hopefully they have a little bit better tournament success this year, especially Kentucky. But again, Big East only getting 3 teams in is crazy. We'll talk about who else missed the tournament. But before we get into that, Ward, I want to talk about every year. There's a Cinderella team to make a run. There's a team you don't expect to beat a higher seed and get to the Sweet 16, get to the Elite 8. We're going on record. We're picking 2 or 3 teams this year that we suspect can make a Cinderella run. I've got 2, Ward. I think you've got 3, so I'm going to let you have the ball first.
Yep. So I have 2, Cam. I'm going to start out. JMU is my first team. So JMU is coming in as a 12 seed. They start out their first round game is against number 5, Wisconsin. The reason I like JMU, Cam, is because they have the second highest record in the NCAA right now behind UConn. That's one. Two, Cam, this team is they're on a 13-game winning streak. Obviously, they're hot at the right time. They've only lost 3 games. They're 31-3. You're on a 13-game winning streak right now. You're playing good basketball. They blew out everybody in the Sun Belt Basketball Conference to win the Sun Belt Championship. You look at this Wisconsin team. They've struggled this year. Obviously, they're a 5 seed. I think there's a good chance that JMU makes a jump from here to here. They're very explosive on offense. So after doing a little bit of market research, Cam, I like JMU for that reason.
I like it. Wisconsin made a deep run in the Big Ten.
Yep.
Ultimately fell to Illinois in a barn burner. But I like that. JMU is, like you said, getting hot at the right time. One of the best teams in ball. I think that's probably the most popular 12-5 matchup, which scares me a little bit betting wise, especially. But you could stack those two teams up, take away the logos, and I think JMU might actually have a better basketball team.
Yeah.
My first one, and I've already kind of alluded to it, is McNeese, led by Will Wade. Their path forward, I think, is super doable. They start off as a 12 seed against Gonzaga, which Gonzaga has been pretty bad this year. They have 2 wins that got them in the tournament, one being over Kentucky at Rupp. They play Kansas, who for the past 2 weeks has been without their best 2 players. Kansas legit has 6 guys that can play basketball on their roster, and 2 of them are hurt right now.
Yeah.
And even when they were healthy, they weren't very good. And then they play Purdue in the Sweet 16 to get to the Elite 8. Do I think McNeese makes it past Purdue? I don't. But with recent history on our side, says Purdue probably going to drop a pretty easy one. So McNeese, I think, has a great path and a really good ball club with a great head coach to make a run in March here.
And Cam, good for you for pronouncing that name correctly too. Because the first time I read the name McNeese, I did not pronounce it right, to be honest with you. So good for you, Cam. Second team I was fiddling. I told you I was going to go with 2. I was fiddling between Drake University and NC State. I'm going to go with my Wolfpack since we are an 11 seed. Cam, and we already talked about it. We won 5 games in a row. We won the ACC championship. We are the hottest team in college basketball right now. So I think there's a good chance that we do make a run in the NCAA tournament.
I hope you guys do. But would it not be the most state thing in the world to go and win the ACC?
Oh, it lose in the round of 64. I guarantee it. I guarantee Texas Tech will beat us. But all signs are pointing towards the 11 seed Wolfpack right now. We're not supposed to be here, Cam. We're not playing for anything. So
yeah, nothing to lose, man. Keats already got his extension. Boys already got their recognition. There's nothing to lose.
Yeah.
My second team, and it's not really so much that I think they're going to make a run. It's more so that they have the opportunity to do one of the funniest things in the world is St. Peter's, 15 seed, playing an SEC 2 seed. Does it sound familiar? They beat Kentucky in the same circumstances 2 years ago. Play Tennessee this year. I would do just about anything to see the Peacocks take down the Vols here in Charlotte.
And Tennessee is playing awful right now too. How does Tennessee get in Charlotte and then Kentucky and NC State don't? Tennessee and Carolina got in Charlotte somehow, but Kentucky and NC State have to go to Pittsburgh.
So if you're a 1 seed, you get geographical hierarchy. So where Charlotte's so close to Carolina and they're a 1 seed, they automatically get into
I didn't know
Charlotte.
Okay.
So UConn is going to be in Boston, or they're going to start out in Brooklyn and then go to Boston. I think Houston's starting out in Memphis, then they go to Dallas. So if you're a 1 seed, you just get those opportunities, and Tennessee just so happened to be the 2 seed in that bracket.
I like it. And Cam, initial thoughts after filling out I know you filled out probably 10 brackets now, but initial thoughts after filling out a couple brackets, any early upsets that you're calling in the round of 64 on Thursday or Friday?
I like McNeese. I also like the College of Charleston over Alabama.
I saw that one, and that one looked really interesting, Cam.
2 super high-scoring, high-pace offenses. Alabama has a tendency to go cold for stretches of games.
Yeah.
College of Charleston, man, that's a sneaky. They always seem to sneak their way in here, and when they do, it seems like they give you a good game or sometimes win. So I like College of Charleston maybe making a round of 32 run here and beating the Crimson Tide.
I like that a lot, Cam. I really like that. So my big upset is I have 2 that I want to go over. 1, UVA plays Colorado State tonight. Colorado State. Anyway, I've watched UVA play a good amount this season. They're in the ACC. They play a defensive brand, Cam, that it's hard for teams to get used to. They play half-court defensive basketball. Most teams in college basketball don't play that. Most teams play very fast. Virginia does not. So I do think it's going to be hard for a team to get used to them. Saying this, I do think they win tonight. And then in the round of 64 on Thursday, I believe, they play the University of Texas in Charlotte. I do think they beat Texas. There's going to be, obviously, they don't have far travel. A lot of UVA people are going to be traveling down for that game. That's one upset I have, Cam. The other upset I have, already mentioned it. I do think JMU beats 5 seed Wisconsin on Friday.
Gotcha. And then, did you have something about Oregon before we talked on the?
Yes. So I had probably 10 upsets on my list. I was going over it with Cam earlier. Cam brought up a very good stat. So as you know, Oregon just won the Pac-12 championship. And
the last Pac-12 championship, by the way, Ward.
Yeah, the last Pac-12 camp. They won the last Pac-12. No, they lost it in football. Never mind. They went to the last Pac-12 championship in football, lost it in basketball. So anyway, Cam, I do think they play University of South Carolina first round. South Carolina's a SEC team, and it's not USC for all you bums out there that call South Carolina USC. USC's in California. But they play South Carolina, Oregon. Cam, the reason I think Oregon's going to win just based off them just winning the SEC or the Pac-12. Cam, tell me a cool stat or tell the people the cool stat you just told me.
Yeah, so Dana Altman at Oregon has never lost a first-round game in the NCAA tournament in Pittsburgh, by the way. So we could see South Carolina and Pittsburgh on Saturday as well, Ward. But if it goes with the trends, Dana Altman will not lose this basketball game to South Carolina,
which is pretty cool. You know, that it's pretty cool to see that. So
on the other end of the spectrum, Ward, Nebraska has made the tournament, has never won an NCAA tournament game in its university's history.
Did not know that. And they play that was another upset I was looking at. They play it. It's an 8-9 seed. I can't remember who they play, but that's going to be one that's pretty interesting. I had that upset circled, but I didn't. Is it A&M they play?
I think so, actually, now that you say that. I'm looking it up right now.
I know it's an 8-9 seed, but anyway, Cam, that's going to be interesting. Something else that was really interesting to me that we were going over was one, obviously I did want to throw this in too. So there's a cool statistic out for all you sports bettors out there. If you go and you bet on every single underdog in a round of 64, the last 5 years, you would come out on top. So you would make money. So for anybody that if you have enough money to throw $10 on each game, so if you can throw $320 down, you would probably make money. Oh, if you bet the underdog every single game, because there's so many upsets in this tournament. Very unpredictable tournament, most unpredictable tournament in sports. So that's my segment there.
Yeah. And you were correct. Nebraska does play A&M.
A&M, okay.
But, Ward, we've kind of skipped around it. I do want to hear, confidence level NC State makes it to the Sweet 16.
Is this me talking as a fan or talking as a basketball guy?
Whatever you prefer.
Okay. As a fan, I know this team too well. I've followed this team my whole life. We just won our Super Bowl, Cam. We just won our absolute Super Bowl. We just beat Carolina, number 1 seed Carolina, top 5 Carolina when it really mattered. So that's huge for us. Us actually we've made the Sweet 16 twice in my lifetime. I'm 24 years old. So betting odds, I would not bet on it, but really interesting to see. I hope we do get the chance to play Kentucky though, Cam. I hope we beat Texas Tech.
The Fat Katz Bowl will be something that they write stories about.
Fat Katz Bowl, I love it. But hey, I mean, we are the hottest team in basketball right now. So I mean, they're all odds are pointing in all balls are in our court, Cam.
And I do want to say, DJ Burns is earned. He's earned all this national credibility and coverage. Can we get some credit here, man? We were on the DJ Burns bandwagon, I guess you'll say. We were the first 2 people on it.
Yeah.
We were singing DJ Burns' praises from the hilltops since the second week of the season.
And ladies and gentlemen, listen to Cam say this too, because DJ Burns coming from a Kentucky fan. DJ Burns is a former Tennessee Volunteer. So
yes.
Cam, we love the recognition, brother, and I want all of our Fat Katz fans to know that Cam is supporting the boys.
And let me go on record. If State beats Kentucky in the second round, I will be the biggest NC State fan in the world. I'll get a DJ Burns jersey. I might get a DJ Burns tattoo. Let's see. But, Ward, there's a lot of storylines going into this tournament. The biggest, to me, is the potential Elite Eight matchup between Carolina and Arizona to go to Phoenix. You get the Caleb Love game. He takes on his old Carolina Tar Heels with his Arizona Wildcats. First of all, if we get to that, who do you think – like, because in every story where there's got to be a good guy and a bad guy.
Yep.
Who do you think is the good guy in the story? Who do you think is the bad guy?
Real quick, so do you know, we probably shouldn't talk about this on air, the story for why Caleb Love left, him and RJ Davis.
The love triangle.
The love triangle. Who was the bad guy in that?
Well, it seems like Caleb Love was the bad guy in that.
Caleb Love was the bad guy. Okay. Well, hey, man, you know what they say. Good guys never win. So I'm putting all my apples in the Caleb Love cart, Cam.
Okay.
Caleb Love left Carolina, so I don't like him, but I have more respect for him now. So go Wildcats, Cam. Go Arizona.
And I know if that game happened, you would cheer for Arizona.
Absolutely, I would.
But who do you think wins that game? The grudge match between Caleb Love and Carolina.
Who do I think wins? I think Carolina is one of the best teams in college basketball right now. I think there's a Final Four national championship run for them waiting to happen. So I don't think Arizona is better than Carolina now.
Gotcha.
But I'm pulling for Arizona.
For sure. I think everybody that's not a Carolina fan would be. This one not as far out. This is a second round game, round of 32. So Saturday, the first weekend. It would be the Rick Barnes Bowl, Ward.
I know.
We'd have Tennessee in Charlotte playing against his old team, the Texas Longhorns. Rick Barnes, would it not be poetic justice for him to go in the second round against his former team, Ward?
Yeah. And, Rick Barnes is a Hickory guy, too. Hickory, North Carolina, stand up. Matt Johnson, listener of the pod, is a huge Rick Barnes fan. His dad and Rick Barnes were actually roommates in college at Lenore-Ryan University. Really cool story. But, Cam, which orange you pulling for? I know you don't like either one of them, but you're pulling for
I'd
Texas
pull for
orange.
Texas.
Okay.
For sure.
And a little story about Texas, too, with Cam. I've always had a thing for the orange colors. I don't know why. We used to play a lot of NCAA 14, and I used to love to play with Texas and Tennessee. Cam does not like Texas or Tennessee. So that's why I asked Cam which one he'd pull for. So, funny story.
I think and we're going off on a tangent. I think Tennessee and Texas are two of the biggest poser brands of all time.
I understand Tennessee, but why Texas?
Well, what is Texas, though? Since we were 3 years old, Ward, what has Texas done?
Very true. That was
mean, and they think the same way Tennessee.
Well, hey, they went to a college football playoff this year.
Don't care. That's not the pinnacle for Texas football.
Yeah.
To me, like the same way that Tennessee thinks that Peyton Manning is walking through that door any day. By the way, to Vols fans, it's not happening.
No.
I think Texas is getting like that, a little bit further removed for Tennessee, but two of the biggest and like crybaby fan bases that think they're better than they are. Plus, the orange just puts it all on top. Orange is like the worst color of all time. But like I said, though, I would do anything for Texas to win this basketball game. Yeah. More so, I'd rather St. Peter's ruin it before we even got the chance. Yeah. But it almost makes me sick that Rick Barnes is a friend of the program through Matt Johnson's dad. But another fun storyline, and then we'll get to one more, is if all things fall right, Duke would have to upset Houston, or Houston would have to get beat before Kentucky would have to go through Marquette. Kentucky and Duke in Dallas.
You already beat Duke this year, didn't you?
No, we haven't played Duke this year.
Okay, never mind.
But yeah, Kentucky, Duke in the Elite Eight to get a Final Four ticket to Phoenix. That would be a very fun game with a lot of stakes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm cheering for in that region. But we'll see. And last one that I want to get to, Ward. This would be unfortunate for me, but for the country, this would be awesome. It would be DJ Burns and NC State take care of business, get to the Elite Eight, Ward, to face off against fellow thick boy BJ Mack and the South Carolina Gamecocks in the Elite Eight. That would be electric to watch those two big boys go at it, man.
Yeah, and what they should do, whichever one, because one's listed at 270, the other one's listed at 275. The loser has to come out and step on a scale in front of the whole country and see what they actually weigh. That's
Let
what
me
I
just
think.
say, BJ Mack would be a lot less embarrassed to step on a scale than DJ Burns would. BJ Mack is close. I don't know if he's 270, but he's close. DJ Burns, like, we'll see him if they get to stand beside each other. Somebody's lying, and it's not BJ Mack. But
I love it, Cam.
before we get into our draft, which we'll explain later, is I do want to go over the teams that missed the cut award. Oklahoma was the biggest one that a lot of people thought should have got in that didn't. But Indiana State becomes the highest net rated team in the history of college basketball to miss the tournament. They were ranked 29 in the net and didn't make it 68 field. Kind of seems weird to me. A lot of this is because so many favorites got upset in their conference tournaments. St. John's didn't make it. They were 32 in the net, which makes them the second highest net rated team to miss the tournament, the highest in Big East history. Providence didn't make it. They were 57 in the net, had 6 quad one wins, and then Pitt missed it, probably because of the NC State Wolfpack. They were the 40th team in the net. And a lot of teams missed the cut that you didn't think would, but again, probably because of the underdogs winning the conference tournaments.
Yep.
Only team I'm irate about is Indiana State, just because I wanted to see our boy Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar get in.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I saw one of the Redskins reporters called him Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I was like, that's awesome.
But those are the team. Let us know if anybody else we missed that should have been in the tournament. I think the field or the committee got it close to right. I know the first 4, last 4, that was kind of an odd situation, but it's March, man. Only people that care are the people that didn't get in the dance. So let's watch some basketball.
Welcome to March. Welcome to March.
I do want to give a shout out to Novak on this one. This was Novak's idea award. We're doing a tournament, NCAA tournament draft. So what we're doing, each of us is going to draft a team one by one of who we think can win a national title. If one of us picks who ultimately wins the national title, the other one has to do a punishment. Either one of us will pick it, or maybe we'll let the fans pick it. If neither of us do it, we both have to do a punishment, though. So, Ward, again, who we think is going to win the national championship, we're picking 4 teams apiece. So 8 teams.
We're going 4 apiece?
Yep. So 8 teams out of a 68-team field. I thought that percentage was pretty good. So Ward, go ahead. I'm gonna let you have the first pick.
You not want to do? We're not doing a coin toss for first pick.
We'll do a coin toss. Why not?
Let me pull it up. Hey Cam, while I do that, you think of what's our punishment?
I was thinking for me, once you pass that 350-pound threshold, people like to see fat boys run. Maybe we do an exercise challenge for me. Maybe run a mile or run an X amount of hills or something. I don't know. The easiest thing for me definitely would be an eating challenge.
Yeah.
But,
well, you think of our challenge. We'll have our listeners bet on the challenge. All right, Cam. I know you want tails. I'm guessing, correct?
Yep. Tails never fails.
All right, it's up in the air. It is tails. Cam, first pick. Go.
Hey, tails 2 for 2. First pick. I'm taking UConn to repeat.
Perfect.
Best team in the country easily. Danny Hurley has gotten that team rolling at the right time. I'm going to go with UConn here as my first pick.
Give me Purdue.
Ooh, Purdue. I don't know if I want to be honest with you. You could have gotten them at 4. I wouldn't take them.
I'm very big on Purdue. Are you taking notes on who we take?
Yes, I'm typing it down. I get Purdue though. Big time UVA feeling with this team that they just lost early last year. Actually, the past 2 years.
Yep.
They're due to make a run.
They are due to make a run.
My second pick, I'm going to go with the Carolina Tar Heels, Ward.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, Cam, give me my second at Houston. I cannot stand Houston, but
I was gonna see if I could sneak them in. Yeah. I've got a future on Houston. They run 4 guards, man. Super high firepower offense. Speaking of,
not a big Houston person, but
I'm going to go with the Kentucky Wildcats.
I
can't
like it,
believe
Cam. I like it. But for my third team, Cam, give me the second hottest team in college basketball right now, Iowa State.
Iowa State. I like it. Two Big 12 teams for Wade here.
Yep.
I'm going to round it out here, Ward. I'm stuck between two teams. I like Arizona a lot, but Illinois, what they did in the Big Ten tournament, give me the Illini, man. I can't go without them.
Hey, since we're talking about college tournaments, Cam, my fourth and final pick, give me my Wolfpack.
There we go.
Give me my Wolfpack.
Ward, we may have messed up here letting Arizona fall through the cracks, man. We may be doing it.
Yeah, well, Arizona, they're like, man, Arizona, they're like Gonzaga. They're good every year, but what do? They don't ever win.
That's true. That's true. Funny you say that their head coach is a former assistant at Gonzaga.
Yeah.
That's all we got for college basketball. Let us know who you guys got, any upsets you guys think about. We want to talk to you guys like we always say. You guys are your opinion is just as important as ours. So let us know what you guys think. Or we got some NFL stuff to clean up, and then we'll get out of here.
Let's do it, Cam. Let's run through it.
Yeah. Aaron Donald, first and foremost. Aaron Donald retired.
GOAT.
Aaron Donald is the greatest defensive lineman I've ever watched play football. Yep. Maybe the best football player I've ever watched.
Yep.
Back-to-back defensive player of the years. Yep. Made defensive tackles, getting 20 sacks. He made that regular for guys or for him for years. Yep. Besides, I mean, it's him and J.J. Watt in a field of their own to me, and I think Aaron Donald clears with the ring. Yep. So what a great career. I know quarterbacks in the NFC West and all over football are rejoicing that they don't have to see 99 lined up across them.
Yeah. And Cam, you said it perfectly. You hit the nail on the head. Greatest defensive lineman to do it in our lifetime and ever in the NFL. So Aaron Donald, glad you're not in the NFC anymore, and best of luck in retirement. I can't wait to hear you broadcast one day.
Yep. Maybe the end of the Rams dynasty. Well, not dynasty, but the Rams as we know them with Stafford and all those guys. But Keenan Allen Ward got dealt from the Chargers to the Bears for a fourth-round pick. The Chargers also released Mike Williams, who's taking visits this week. But Keenan Allen to the Bears, man, for a fourth-rounder, really giving Caleb Williams all he needs.
They're setting up a quarterback. They're setting up, I think what's the betting favorite for Caleb Williams now? Like 600 to 1?
I'm sure you would have to bet $100,000 to win $10,000.
Yeah. Caleb Williams is set up with some weapons now. He has DJ Moore. He has Keenan Allen. Well, the Chargers, not sure what the Chargers are doing. You guys are really putting all your eggs in that quarterback or that wide receiver from TCU's basket, which I don't think he's good enough. Or he's good, but he's no wide receiver one. He's no elite wide receiver one. I know they had some cap issues, but I don't know, man. I'm really curious to see. I haven't seen them go up in as a talented division as they're in. I have not seen them make the jump. So really curious what the Chargers are doing.
Yeah, Chargers are suffering from a salary cap kind of miscombobulation on their end. Not a lot of money to go around and really good player.
Yeah, speaking of wide receivers, the Browns just paid Jerry Jeudy 3-year, $58 million. Give him $20 million a year.
Wow.
A lot of money for Jerry Jeudy.
Did not see that coming. And speaking of Jerry Jeudy, I want to make it known that the Browns gave up less to get Jerry Jeudy than they did to get Amari Cooper. I think I said that last week, but worth revisiting. Where do the Browns find all this money at, man?
Same with the Eagles, my friend. They got some nerd back there, as you say, doing payroll, finding out some gaps or something.
Speaking of the Eagles, Kenny Pickett was dealt to the Eagles this weekend for a third-round pick swap. The short Kenny Pickett era comes to an end in Pittsburgh. A lot of drama at the end of the year, Ward. He didn't want to suit up Week 18 against the Seahawks in a must-win.
I did not know that.
Yeah, well, the locker room made this decision last year when they decided to roll with Mason Rudolph instead of Kenny Pickett. It was said that he handled Russell Wilson coming in very poorly, so got dealt to the Eagles. The Steelers in turn get Justin Fields for a 6th-round pick, Ward. He's going to sit behind Russ for a year is what the plan is, and then hopefully be unleashed. Or did we talk about Deontay Johnson to the Panthers last week?
We did not talk about that. No.
Okay. Steelers also sent wide receiver one Deontay Johnson to the Panthers in return for Dante Jackson. Nothing. I mean, not nothing. I don't know how good Dante Jackson is. I know how good Deontay Johnson is. But he's such a headache in the locker room that they had to get him out. But yeah, Steelers making moves. This is not your grandpa's Steelers, man. Omar Khan is coming in and making shockwaves. They've said that they're in the trade market for a huge wide receiver.
Yeah.
So we'll see when that happens. But Ward, I know your guy, Sam Howell, got dealt. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
Sam Howell got dealt, man. I was sad to see it go, but I'm happy for him at the end of the day because his future in Washington. Well, one, I have two reasons. So just like the Taylor Heineke stuff last year, Cam, we're going to bring in a rookie quarterback. And one thing for a rookie quarterback, if he messes up on the field, you can't have fans yelling, say Jaden Daniels comes in, he throws in interceptions. You can't have fans yelling, put Sam Howell in, because that's going to drain a quarterback's confidence. Confidence is key in the NFL. That's one. They had to get him out for that reason. And two, Cam, I like Sam Howell. Sam Howell's a Charlotte guy. He is unfortunately a Carolina guy, but he put his heart and soul into the Commanders. He was at Thanksgiving last year, the week after Thanksgiving last year. Sam Howell is our quarterback for the future. And in 6 weeks' time, he completely fell off. It's just crazy to think that we got a third and a fifth rounder for Sam Howell. And you look at some of the other quarterbacks going around the league. He had a higher price tag than Justin Fields, who was a 3-year starter. Kenny Pickett, who was a first-round pick and 2-year starter. Sam Howell was a fifth-round guy. So I do hope he gets his opportunity. I'm happy that he gets to go to Seattle because he's going to get an opportunity to go and be a franchise quarterback, which he would not have gotten in Washington. So I hope the best for him, and I hope he does not turn into a stud and just come back to bite us in the ass, because I am a Sam Howell believer.
There you go. I don't think I'm as high on Sam as you are, but hey, real quick, breaking news. Well, kind of breaking. Bengals add Trent Brown, offensive tackle out of New England, to their line on a 1-year contract. Ward, they're really, really committed to beefing up that line to keep Joe Burrow healthy.
What about Tyron Smith? Has he signed anywhere yet?
Yeah, he signed with the Jets.
The Jets, interesting. Okay.
Yep. So one of the best, when healthy, one of the best left tackles in football going to New York. A lot of health concerns up there for the Jets right now.
Yeah.
But if that team can stay healthy, there's a ton
the Jets also traded for Morgan Moses today, who was a former starting tackle for the Redskins, played for the Ravens last year. Now he played for the Jets. So they're protecting old Aaron Rodgers.
There you go. Ward, Bobby Wagner, you alluded to earlier. Any other thoughts on Bobby Wagner joining the Commanders?
He is probably one of my favorite hires of this offseason. Or he's one of my favorite signings of this offseason, just because one, something about our team, Cam. We lack a leader on defense. There's guys there, Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne. Neither one of them are outspoken leaders. They're both first-round picks, so they're thrown into that role. And this is a little perfect signing just for that reason. One, and two, our linebacker team, or our linebacker room is so young. He's going to come and coach these guys. Jamin Davis, we were talking about it before. Perfect example. He's going to coach this guy. Bobby Wagner, 3-time All-Pro. He has a Super Bowl ring. Like, this guy's been there, done that. He is one of the best linebackers in the NFL. He's old. I'm hoping this isn't a Thomas Davis Redskins signing that we made a couple years ago. But, man, he's going to come in and have an opportunity to really make an impact on this team, and for a team that really needs an impact to be brought upon them. So I'm happy. I'm really happy about this one.
For sure. Anytime you can get a guy that knows the game like Bobby Wagner, you take him. In the AFC South ward, Calvin Ridley stays in the AFC South.
Yep.
Goes from the Jags to the Titans. Signs a pretty hefty contract.
And got paid, too. I think he got the same. I think he got like 18, 19 mil a year.
Yeah, which
crazy. He got paid.
Will Levis stacking up some weapons on the outside here in Tennessee. Ward, the funniest thing to come out of this Calvin Ridley signing, I don't think you saw this, was his agent, Ward, got caught running a burner account on Twitter. A burner account was breaking a ton of NFL news before any of the, the big wigs, Ian Rappaport's, all those guys, comes out that it's Calvin Ridley's agent. And he had to delete the Twitter account.
Get out of here.
I thought that was pretty funny. Your boy, Chase Young, Ward, we talked about it last week. kind of waiting it out to get a bigger contract from somebody who needs an edge. In pops the New Orleans Saints. I believe it's a 1-year deal, $13 million contract, correct?
1 year, 13 mil, man. Chase Young, he's on a prove it deal. So really curious how he does in 18 games, hungry for a $100 million contract. Happy for him. Third team in the last 4 months. So really curious to see what comes out of it, man. You know, obviously I like Chase and I hope the best for him. I hope he gets paid.
Yeah, man. Every time I hear prove it deal, all I can think of is the Antonio Brown clip. Why did they D on a prove it deal?
Yeah.
But speaking of AB, his cousin, Marquise Hollywood Brown, signs with the Chiefs. Ward gives Patrick Mahomes, hopefully for Chiefs fans, that reliable wide receiver. To me, Kadarius Toney, very comparable players.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't. I think Mahomes is so ingrained with Kelsey. There's never going to be a wide receiver one there. I mean, look at who Juju went to them, did nothing. Look at Kadarius Toney. Did nothing, but didn't have the impact everybody thought it was going to. Kadarius Toney was a first-round pick, Cam. People forget about that. But yeah, man, Marquise Brown, he was good 3 years ago. Curious to see what he'll be now, but I don't know, man. Interesting to see what happens out of that.
And I don't think there was any question, but this definitely takes out any questions that at 4 the Cardinals are taking a receiver, whether that be Maserati Marv, whether that be Malik Neighbors, whether that be Rome Odunze. My money's on Marvin Harrison Jr. A lot of people seem to be overthinking that he's the best receiver in this class, saying that Neighbors is better now. But we'll see come draft time.
They are, though, Cam. Funny story. They are actually, the Cardinals are the number 1 rated team, or number 1. They have the highest odds to trade back, and they're looking at trading with the Vikings, is what I'm hearing. So we'll see what happens there. But they are the highest projected team to trade back.
Could you imagine being the Vikings? You are trading up, and you're going to go trade up for J.J. McCarthy at 4.
Yep, you're going to trade up for the 4th quarterback.
That's crazy.
Crazy to think about.
But anyways, I digress. Everybody knows my thoughts on J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Ward, the Cleveland Browns have 3 Pro Bowl quarterbacks on that roster now. I know you're shaking your head saying, what are you talking about? Sean Watson, 3-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston, 1-time Pro Bowler. And Tyler Huntley staying in the division to be the 3rd quarterback for the Browns.
I forgot Tyler Huntley. That's hilarious, man. I like to play on words there.
I was talking to either Fry or Novak, I can't remember. But I was like, in 20 years, our kids, or 30 years, whatever, our kids are going to be like, yo, Dad, how good was so-and-so? We're going to tell them how good they were, and they're going to be like, are you sure? Because Mac Jones, Mitch Trubisky, and Tyler Huntley were Pro Bowlers those years. Pro Bowl has become absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it's a popularity contest, man.
But the Browns, 3 Pro Bowl quarterbacks on the roster. What more can you ask for?
Yep.
Last thing, and then we'll get out of here unless you have something else, Ward. Jerome Bettis Jr., I said that right, Jerome Bettis Jr. commits to Notre Dame. He joins Ivan Taylor, who is Ike Taylor's son, who played for the Steelers, and he joins Elijah Burris, who is Plaxico Burris' son, as Notre Dame commits for the 2025 class, Ward. You feel old yet?
Yeah, very old. Very old. I feel old with this, and I also feel old going and looking at rosters and looking at these guys that are about to get drafted that are 20 years old. I'm like, I'm 4 years older than these guys. Holy shit. But
well, I mean, we're getting off tangent, but you will look at the NBA draft, man. There's 18-year-olds.
Don't get me started on that.
You're like, dude, that kid's 6 years older than me, and he's going to be like multi-gazillionaire.
Oh, I know. And then, what did we do wrong in life, Cam? We ate too many cinnamon buns.
But that was episode 47 of the Fat Katz Podcast.
Yep.
Thank you guys. If you made it this far, like, share, subscribe. Leave us your thoughts on any topics during this. We appreciate everyone who does it. Justin, Novak especially. Seems every episode are giving us some feedback. Before we get out of here, I want to remind you guys, Spotify, YouTube, now Apple Podcast, the Fat Katz Podcast, and then Instagram and TikTok at Fat Katz Pod.
Yep.
Ward, it was a pleasure as always, my friend, and I will see you hopefully
Friday. I hope I see you. I hope I'm driving to Charlotte Friday and I'm parking at your house and me and you are taking a drive north together.
Or I'm driving to Raleigh and we're taking a train up. But As always, man, a pleasure. And
Amtrak.
if we make a road trip, Ward, we're gonna have to live stream it because that'll be
we are gonna have to live
content.
stream it. Hey,
But
hey, look, nobody's watching right now. Hey, my new MLB The Show game is on 81%. Cam,
no free plugs, Ward. But road to the show. Are we doing road to the show this year?
wait, I doubt I have no games to play, and I didn't tell our listeners I got a boot on my foot, so can't really do much out in the yard. So I'm gonna guess my guy's gonna be in the MLB by the end of the night.
So, do you want to tell the story since nobody's listening of how you turned the ankle?
We'll break that live in the car riding in Clifford on Friday. How about that?
Let's just say I'm breaking news. Ward will not be playing 7-on-7 for the rest of the season.
No, only 2 weeks right now. I'm only out 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I'm on the IR for 2 weeks with 2 torn tendons.
Ward, one more question on MLB The Show, and we'll get out of here. Do we have
what
a position
are you making? Your guy.
That's what I was about to ask you.
I don't know, dude. I can never figure out what position to make my guy. I always be a home run hitter, but I like making play. I might make a third base guy.
I always play fielder, like outfielder.
Do you like outfield? Yeah. I like making plays in the infield. The only thing is, I don't know.
I just make a power hitter.
Yeah, I like making a power hitter too. I made a shortstop, and he hit 2 home runs a year. He was so boring to play with.
But yeah, man, MLB The Show. If you haven't pre-downloaded it, let's get after it.
Let's get after it.
Yeah, Ward, always a pleasure,
podcast, brother. Hopefully, I'll see you Friday, my friend.
Yes, sir. Go Pat, go Cats, baby.
Hey, go Pat, go Cats.
Peace.